I am so excited to have you guys here with me today. This is crazy. I know you're popping off. I know you're popping off. If this is your first time getting to know me, my name is Gloria Mayfield Banks, and I am a builder of ambitious women who know that confidence and improved confidence will quantum leap them to their next. So listen, this is not about me today. This is seriously about you. And I'm excited to introduce you to Dean because I know for a fact you know him. But I want to tell you more about him. And just the few minutes I was on with him earlier was just a really great feel of energy and excitement. So I'm so glad you guys are here. Whatever place you're watching, on your laptop, on your phone, on your TV, whatever the screen is, I'm so glad you joined in with me today. And I will be going back and looking at your comments for sure. Before I get started, I want to tell you straight off the bat that if you put thrive in your comments, then you're going to sit something very nice from me that's going to continue to connect us so that you can be ready for this incredible gift they have for you. Just type the word thrive and we're going to send you something. Well, Dean Graziosi, I personally have watched him for a long time. If you're not connected with his social media, bam. As soon as we're off this, I want to make sure that you get there. But let me just tell you a little bit about him because I want to get right into you receiving a gift from Dean. Dean is a multi-time New York best-selling author, entrepreneur, and investor. He's also a very popular speaker and business consultant, speaking, you guys, in front of an audience of more than 200,000 people. And he's here with you today. Glow Nation, this is certainly a gift for you. The methods that Dean Graziosi teaches have been tested and proven to work with countless students and companies worldwide. He believes anyone can achieve success and create impact as long as they are willing to take, listen to this, uncomfortable, courageous action with the right tools and knowledge. He's determined to fill the gap and provide the tools of not that and knowledge that people need to get them where they are to where they want to go. Does that sound very familiar? Does it sound very familiar? To date, he has played a role in the growth and development of more than 14 major companies. He's also worked behind the scenes with massive 8 and 9-figure companies, helping them to overhaul their processes. And he's here to give you a gift, reinvent in their marketing and sales strategies. Hello, and drive exponential growth, both in profit and overall reach. This is so good. Yes, go ahead. Put thrive in there. Thrive. I want to see it popping. I want to see it popping. Thrive. Margot, Melissa, Mona, Trisha. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. His books and his products. Dean Graziosi is a New York best-selling author many times over. His most well-known books is Personal Development, Mindset, and Entrepreneurship. His most popular titles, listen to this title, I love this title, includes Millionaire Success Habits, The Gateway to Wealth and Prosperity, which he sold nearly 1 million copies worldwide, and The Underdog Advantage, Rewrite Your Future by Turning Your Disadvantages into Your Superpower. He also has an incredible partnership with Tony Robbins. In 2019, Dean began his partnership with world-renowned speaker, coach, and philanthropist Tony Robbins. Since the beginning of their partnership, they've launched self-education courses and programs that are designed to help anyone leverage their knowledge. Now, you guys, as I'm reading this, I know you're sharing this. I know you're calling your friends right now and say, get on. You need this pump right now, today. This is a gift from you. I know you're doing that. Okay. Since the launch, it's literally become a movement. You know how I love movements. A movement with people learning their skills in over 150 countries. You can go to mastermind.com. Their most sought after program is there now. Dean's training and courses are packed full of real world knowledge and resources and how to up-level their lives. To date, listen to this, more than 2 million people have benefited from the partnership with Tony Robbins. Millions more are learning how to grow their business through their courses and their best-selling books. When applied, the concept The Graziosi teaches works in today's digital world. I love that part. The man changed my life. The man changed my life. Dean, I'm so excited to have you here. Before you talk, though, I want to give this before. I want to say this because Tony and Dean have a challenge, a 5-day free. I want to say it free challenge to you guys called the Time to Thrive Challenge. So you got to put Thrive in there. You got to put Thrive because I don't want anybody to miss this. Thrive. And I just want to tell you that this is so exciting that you would come here live with Glow Nation and talk about what you guys are delivering in this challenge. And they know I very seldom bring a challenge to them unless it's really powerful. And every time I bring them, they always show up and they show up big. So I'm super proud that you guys have taken this time. And Dean, thank you so much for bringing your energy, your talent, your words, your structure, your procedure to the world, as well as to us today. So tell us a little bit about you, your journey. Tell us a little bit about what you want us to know.
Yeah. First of all, Gloria, thank you for that beautiful introduction. And thank you, everybody who's spending time with us this morning. I know there's a million things you could be doing, or maybe you're watching this at a later date. Whenever you're watching this, hopefully, listen, my whole goal is there's a million things you could be doing. We're busy as heck. But I hope we take the next 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is here today, and deliver at least one thing that'll help you lean into who you're meant to be. Right? That's really what we all want. We all want to get to the end of our lives knowing we lived into our full potential, that we squeezed all the juice out of the life we had. We just don't want to get to the end of our lives with regret, thinking I played small. I dimmed my glow to match the people around me. I let my insecurity drive me. I let worry of failure or worry of what people will think or worry because I was too old, I was too young, I didn't have the money, didn't have the education. We all have that thing, right? I think the worst thing we could have, I had somebody say this to me once, Gloria, and it stuck with me for a decade. Whoever you believe your maker is, I believe it's God. At the end of your life, could you imagine if God had an iPhone and played you a video of the woman you could have been? Now, I don't think God would be that cruel, but imagine that happening. Right? Imagine seeing a video of the woman you could have been. Right. I think it would be, and I'll talk about me a little bit in a moment, but I really want you to think about this today. Yeah. And I'll tell you why it's so important is because I believe there are things in your path right now that hold you back. It's hard to take that uncomfortable action. It's hard to move forward. We feel like in today's world, we call it an imposter. I have imposter syndrome. I have self-doubt. What if my spouse, my partner, my friends think I'm crazy for trying? What if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if this is not for me? I believe it pales in comparison. That little bit of fear of taking uncomfortable action now or looking a little silly now, I think it pales in comparison to being at the end of your life and realize you never leaned into who you were meant to be. I think you would do everything in your power to go back and start over and say, please, God, give me one more chance. I will not let self-doubt. I will not let that I have dyslexia or I didn't have money or my parents were rough on me. I won't let any of that stop me. In fact, I'll use it as my fuel. Please give me another shot. So when I think through that lens, Gloria, if you really hear this today, and I know you've heard, you get to learn from Gloria, who's amazing, and you probably heard some of the things I've shared. So let this be a reminder service. But what if you gave yourself the gift today to pretend you were there and you were able to beam back to this moment. And you decided in this moment today that this is the day I'm not playing small anymore. This is the day I'm not going to dim my glow to match the people around me. This is the day I'm going to use my weaknesses as my strengths. I'm going to look at life that has happened for me to strengthen me so I'm tough. Where is the smoothest stone? In the roughest part of the stream, right? So today, what if today was the day you said, I'm giving myself a gift that at the end of my life, I want God or your maker to play a video and go, damn, you were crazy. You were oh my God. Hey, everybody, come around. Look at this video. This girl is insane. She never let anything get in her way. That's the video I want. Right. So I think that's a good way to start off this. And again,
Dean, can I say this to you? Because I think that all of us need to admit that we have some limiting beliefs. All of us have it. I certainly was reading about it today that I have limiting beliefs. What you're talking about is the limiting beliefs. They come at us different ways. And so what I love about this is that we're all opening up the conversation for the real. That is a powerful vision, that you would get a video of yourself after your life is over at what you let stop you. That's powerful. And that's why self-development makes such a big difference.
And here's what I want to share with you. So let's just say it like it is. If we're going to spend a little time here this morning,
Yeah.
can I have permission to just be
Yes,
real?
say it like it really is.
Okay. We had 2 years of craziness with COVID.
Right.
Right. And what did COVID do? It created insecurity. It created uncertainty. People saying, do I work at home? Do I not work at home? Do I quit my job and finally do my own thing? Do I live my dreams? What if I run out of money? Like, we had 2 years of uncertainty. And Gloria, can we agree that there are extremes in the media, so far one way and so far the other way? Right. And here's what I want to ask. Don't you believe we have way more in common than we do have separate?
Absolutely.
Don't we believe most of us love a higher power. Most of us love each other. We love our children. We want things better for the next generation. I believe we have this polarized media of extremes, making it seem like we all don't get along when I think most of us get along. So we've had COVID, we've had separation, we've had crazy polarized news. Right. We've had staying home where you feel alone. And just as things start to get better, then inflation is at 9.2% at a 40-year high. Gas prices, food prices. Now we're officially in a recession. If you feel uncertain or lose your confidence a little, congratulations for being human. Right. Okay. Congratulations for being human. But here's what I want to share. Gloria said something really powerful, and I know you've heard it. A limiting belief. What the heck's a limiting belief? You have a story. You have a go-to that's already cost you way too much in your life. Whether that's, I don't have money, I don't have time, my spouse doesn't believe in me, I failed before, it takes money to make money, I don't have advanced education, I have dyslexia, my parents didn't love me. I'm not saying any of those are an excuse. Please don't think I'm minimizing. I have my own. Right. But that story that has already cost you too much. If can we just put in the chat and agree that you have a story that already made you miss the opportunity? Right. That's a fact. Right. But here's what I want to tell you why this is so important, and I'm so glad we're all here together today. Is when the world shifts and the news tells you how bad it is and how separate we are and how things are going in the wrong direction. And you go to the gas pump and it costs you twice as much. And you go to the grocery store and it costs you more. Whatever insecurities you have felt in the past, they will be magnified. Right. Hear me. Right. They will be magnified. Right. So if it held you back in the past, it will cripple you. It will paralyze you in this present day if you're not prepared. So here's what I'd say. Wouldn't you rather prepare and anticipate rather than react? Wow. Yes. So here's my little bit of share today going in this world is we can be the thermostat of life or the thermometer. We can go up and down with what everybody tells us, have the highs, the lows, ups and downs, or we could say today is the day I am the thermostat. Listen, can we say it like it is? Some of you like our last president. Some of you like our current president. Some of you hate both. Some of you like both. Some of you don't care. I don't care either. But here's what I know about both. Neither one of them came and saved you. No one paid off your debt. No one made you wealthy. No one gave you freedom. No one gave you control. No one gave you a different mindset. They're never coming to save us. And when you decide that is true, it is the most liberating thing in the world. You take total responsibility. I want to see it in the chat. I want you guys talking like you're talking in the chat because he's laying down the reality of what we're dealing with. And that reality is what we have to do for ourselves. I love it. I love it. Yeah. And at the end of the day, if we realize no one's coming to save us, if we realize things don't get fixed from the top down, if we want to change the economy in the country, we got to change the economy in our home. If we want to change the conversation in our country, we have to change the conversation in our home. If we want people to get along more, we have to get along more with our neighbor. We have to be more tolerant, more accepting, more understanding. That's how the world changes. It's never changed in the history of the world from the top down. So no one's coming. We must push up and fix things. And if we fix our worlds, if we get our freedom, our control, man, we get to make an impact. And I think the world needs a better version of us today more than ever. So I didn't mean to preach there this morning, but I just don't believe anything happens, Gloria, if we're in the wrong mindset, if we're looking through what's wrong, if we're the thermometer going up and down with the news, all we do is react. And what happens in a time of change, in a time of uncertainty, you know, they talk about fight or flight, right? Right. It's the third F that gets us, Gloria. It's freeze. Oh, yes. It's freeze. Yes. Right? Like, oh, it's uncertain. I'm not sure what's going on. Let me just sit and wait and see what happens. If I was in front of you, I'd shake you. There's no sitting and waiting. When you sit and wait, that's when you're left behind. That's when you don't catch up. And if you think about where we're going as a world and a country, This is the time I wish we could shake Gloria, myself, everybody on here. I wish we could shake everybody we love and say, no, this is not a time to freeze, but most will. So it's actually a time to thrive because you will have less competition because people will be in their head. Yes, the gas prices are more. Yes, inflation is up, but that gives a pause where those that take uncomfortable action have the opportunity. Google today, Google when the most wealth is made. Google when the greatest companies are formed. They're always formed during a depression or a recession for those that have the ability to stand up and say, I'm meant for more.
Stop right there. That I knew there were going to be some nuggets. That one right there is a huge nugget because what you do in this environment will lead your life going forward. That's a huge nugget, Dean. Huge.
Yeah. And I just I want people to believe, if there's anything you could leave with today, listen, Gloria asked me a little bit about me. We all have our life circumstances, and you might be going through a really tough time right now. And if it is, I'm sending you love and prayers. And I mean that. And I'm sorry. But your past and your current situation does not determine your future. You know that. You've heard it. And I want to share, you don't need my whole story, but we all have one. Right? My parents were married 9 times. I moved 20 times by the time I was 20 years old. I lived in trailer parks. I lived in houses that we got evicted from. I went to school without lunch money and told my friends I wasn't hungry. Right? My father was the youngest of 12. He was physically and sexually abused his whole childhood, and a great man, but just never got help. So he chased away everybody in his life. He chased away all his brothers and sisters. He chased away his 4 or 5 wives. He chased away my sister, because he was violent and he was angry because of being physically abused as a kid. And I ended up moving in with him and trying to help my dad. And it was the greatest blessing in my life. I had a bleeding ulcer at 12, worrying about his violent ways. I threw up blood coming home from school, worrying about it. Like, we all have our stuff. We all have our story. But my life changed the day I realized that was my journey and it was meant for me. And if I didn't have that story, I wouldn't be the man I get to be today. I wouldn't be the husband I am to my amazing wife. I wouldn't be the father I am to my children, because I got that journey and I realized I could pass it on. I could repeat it. I could be struggling for money my whole life. I could be struggling with intimate relationships, or I could find a way to gain new capabilities and shift it. So the only thing I want to tell you, if I can give you any hope, is I went through a divorce in my life, and I'm not proud of it, but I did. But when I went through it, I realized how I had to step up to be a better man. If I wanted to attract the kind of relationship I wanted, I had to grow. I had to be a better man. And I just want to tell you, at any age, you have the opportunity to shift, to learn new things, to be more self-aware, to gain new strengths, to crush the inner villain, to not feel like an imposter, to gain capabilities, to be the thermometer in life, not the thermostat. At any moment, at any time, we have the opportunity to shift. And maybe today, if it's just one of you watching live or watching the replay, if today's the day you decide that at the end of your life, you're going to have that crazy video of you going after your dreams, not dimming your glow for other people, then it's worth my time to be with you here today. And I hope I inspired you. I hope you had something, something you wrote down today. You're like, damn, this is my time. And that's why, at this phase of my life, I'm blessed that I've had more success than I ever imagined possible. Mm-hmm. I'm married to truly the love of my life. My kids are thriving, and I'm not bragging. I'm not saying it to make you feel bad. I'm sharing to allow you to see what's possible. And my partner and dear friend, Tony Robbins, and I, we work really hard to share capabilities, because self-education, meaning learning from other people. Tony Robbins learned from Jim Rohn. You might not know who that is, but it was a gentleman who impacted Tony's life at 17 at a live event. And when I was in my 20s, it was Tony Robbins who impacted me to see that life happens for me, not to me, that I could focus on solutions, that my past does not dictate my future. For things to get better, I knew I had to get better. All these things I learned from Tony, and my life shifted. And now Tony and I get to be partners and friends. And if today was something that inspired you in any way, if something triggered, I'd love to invite you. And Gloria, if it's okay, I invite everybody to a challenge that we're doing. A challenge. It's called the Time to Thrive Challenge. And we call it a challenge. So we're going to challenge you to step up. We're going to challenge you to show up. We're going to challenge you to tap into that next level version of you. We're going to challenge you to take uncomfortable action, because nothing happens by accident. And like we said, no one's coming to save us. And over 5 days, we want to show you where the world is heading And like Wayne Gretzky, I don't follow hockey, but if you know sports, he's the GOAT of hockey. He was a great hockey player. I've never watched a hockey game in my life. But if you watch basketball, you know Michael Jordan is the best, and LeBron James. If it's hockey, it's Wayne Gretzky, right?
Right.
And he was asked once why he was so good. What do you think his unfair advantage was? And he said, most people skate to where the puck is. He goes, I figured out how to skate to where the puck was going.
Wow.
Think about that one, right?
Yes.
And what Tony Robbins and I want to do starting August 2nd for 5 days is show you where the puck is going and show you the opportunity how to tap into an industry that's exponentially growing in this shifting world.
Yeah.
And how do you be a part of something that's an industry that used to be at 100 million a day 4 years ago? It's at about $1 billion a day now. And reports a day. And the reports say by 2028, it'll be $1 trillion industry. And it might sound crazy and you might think, oh, that's not for me. But what is that industry? It's the industry that Gloria is in. It's the industry that I'm in, that so many people are in. And that's selling what you know. Helping people with your life experience, helping people through the mess that you've already gone through, helping people learn a skill, a hobby, a passion, how to eat vegan or do yoga or get through a divorce or help your kids or find a center or find spirituality or learn to paint, learn to play the piano, learn to be better at accounting, learn to be better at hair. You have no idea how many people are entering, especially Tony and I have been on this mission and showing people how to take your life experience, package it, in a course, a workshop, a book, a program, a coaching program, and how to offer that to people. It's probably the most valuable asset you own. You didn't realize you own it. Right. You don't have to store it. You don't have to ship it. You don't have to pay for it. You could sell it over and over again.
Yes. And it helps people. It really helps.
It's one of the few things where you get to impact lives. I get to impact lives for a living, and simultaneously I get to live success and abundance with my family. I get to donate and help other people. And we fed 7.5 million people through Feeding America. We just built 2 schools in Africa. We donated $600,000 to Operation Underground Railroad to help children in slavery. I get to impact lives, help them do better. I get to live prosperous, and then I get to impact others. And I know it might sound like, Dean, you've been doing it a while, and Tony, but that's not where this industry is growing. The reason this is going to $1 trillion a year is because regular people are learning for the first time ever that you have something valuable in here. So if anything I shared today resonated even a little. Go ahead.
I just want everyone to write this down. I want you to write down the date. I want you to write down the name. I want you to write down 2 or 3 things that he said that resided with you, because that way you don't forget. And that way you will share from your heart and from your soul what you know will happen, because life will get busy. And I don't want it to get so busy that you might miss this. I don't want it to get so busy. My life is busy. His life is busy. Our lives are busy, but it's never too busy to make a bigger impact. And so I just wanted them to write this down, because sometimes we listen without putting it somewhere really big in our face.
You are so right. And Gloria, I want to even anchor what you said. I want you to write this down right now. Thrive, THRIVE, Thrive 800, Thrive 800. We just want to have an easy URL to remember. Right. Thrive800.com. Go there as soon as you hear this. Go there and see all the speakers. It's not only myself. We have Lisa Nichols and Jenna Kutcher and Russell Brunson and Brendan Burchard. We even have Matthew McConaughey coming because he wrote the book Green Lights. Really amazing book. We have amazing guests coming, but the whole 5 days is designed to pull back the curtain and show you where the puck is going, to show you an opportunity. It's not kind of free. It's totally free. Right. You can do it for 5 days. You can gain these capabilities that are priceless, and see for yourself. Is there a different direction? Should you be going to where the puck is? Should you stop sitting on your hands? Should you stop freezing? Should you take uncomfortable action? And you get to learn from people. Between Tony and I, we have almost 70 years in this industry, and we didn't used to do it big. This challenge is probably going to be 1 million people.
It's definitely. It is definitely going to be 1 million. It is definitely going to be 1 million. Can you guys even imagine? And it's worldwide. That's what's so powerful about this. Yeah, it's going to be 1 million. It's going to be worldwide, so you don't want to miss.
Yeah, and one of the biggest byproducts is being a part of a group where you realize you're not crazy for dreaming.
Yes.
You're not crazy that you don't want to dim your glow. And here's 2 things that I would share, though. Write down thrive800.com right now. After you go register, I would say do 2 things. And trust me here. Hear me on this one. 1, Take thrive800.com and text it to a friend, 2 or 5, to do this and have some accountability partners. Say, hey, this is a crazy time we're in. Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, all these amazing guests, they're doing something for free. They're probably never going to do it again. I know I'm ready for a change. What about you? Let's do this together. So take thrive800.com, send it to a friend, say, let's do this together. Go register. And like Gloria said, put it in your phone, put it on your refrigerator, write it on your laptop, do whatever it takes to be there. This is 3 weeks out. Usually you'll be one of the first people to register. Usually we wait till about 2 weeks because sometimes people forget. So I'm going to tell you, don't forget, keep this excitement. The second thing, what you got to do is I would pretend, Tony and I have programs that range anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 per program. I would pretend that you guys paid $1,000 to attend. In most cases, you would have to pay $1,000 for an event like this, but the world is in a crazy place and we want to deliver massive value. So I would pretend you paid $1,000. Write it down someplace, because I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes when people don't pay, they don't really pay attention. So if you convince your brain that you paid $1,000 for this knowledge, you'll show up with one of these in your hand, a pen. You'll show up with a journal or a piece of paper. You'll take notes and you'll play full out. That's 2 things I think will make this really anchor into your soul.
Right. And then I'm going to ask you just to put Thrive in the chat there. I want you to write Thrive, because I'm going to send you reminders to make sure that you are crystal clear and you don't miss anything. This is such a big deal, Dean. And I'm just going to ask you one more quick question. When you have seen this happen before, because you guys, he's been involved with people on their face, involved in digital. You've had some big audiences, Dean. When you think about the one thing that they could do that will start the ball rolling, because one of the things you said is you cannot freeze. So coming from your viewpoint, knowing what gift you're going to give, what is something that they can do between now and this? Okay, one thing is believe you paid $1,000 for it so you don't miss it. I love that. Believe that you paid for it so you won't miss it. But what is the one thing you think that they can do right now to get unfrozen? So that
really great question.
This is something that they can absorb really well.
Yeah, really, really great question. Here's what I'd say. When we talk about this, number one, though, I'm going to give you 2, Gloria. You asked for 1, you're going to get 2. Great. Number 1, you have to work on this, whatever it takes. If it's listening to more Gloria, if it's praying, if it's reading the Bible, if it's listening to Tony Robbins, if it's listening to me, it's listening to another speaker that inspires you. If there's a book that you love, read 2 chapters a day. You have to do whatever you have to do to not live in that place of fear, of panic, of freezing. You have to work on the mindset that makes you feel unstoppable, to awaken that hero that lives inside of you, that has always lived there. You have to do that. Like, it's a must. If not, you'll go, I don't know about a challenge. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. Right. Let me just see. Just seeing has never worked for you in the history of the world. So number 1 is you got to find a place of, I want to explore. I want to investigate. I want to see if there's a greater future for me. So you must work on that. That's number 1. Because if you show up with the wrong mindset, it'll be a waste of time, right? So that's number 1. And then you got to show up. Hands down, you got to show up, play full out. But here's what I would say. I would bet to say when I said, hey, you're going to sell what you know. I've been doing this long enough. And I remember when I started, you start thinking, I don't really have anything that people would want. I'm not really an expert. I don't have a following. Nobody knows my name. I'm an introvert. How would I get people to pay me? All of those things I get, and Tony and I get, because we got 65 years in this industry. I promise you spend 5 days with it, we'll squash all of them. But here's the part that I really want you to think about. Imagine this. Imagine if you had a day to prepare. Really hear me. If you heard nothing else I shared today, hear this. You had a day to prepare because you were going to have the opportunity to go back and spend a whole day with your 20-year-old self. You could spend 2 hours on relationships. Don't settle. You got to find your heart, wait for the right human, become a better human so you can attract the better human, right? Whatever it is that you would teach. Or what if it was on finances and your career? Like, hey, don't just follow what your parents want you to do or follow what the world tells you to do. You have something bigger and better inside of you. You are authentic. You are confident. You're an amazing woman. You were built perfectly by God to do your own thing. What would you train your 20-year-old self about your business, or the one you should start, or about your health, or again, about love, or about alignment? How much, and you could put it in the chat, no matter if you're watching a replay or not, what would it be worth to you to go back and spend a day with your 20-year-old self? I've done this in front of hundreds of thousands of people over the years. There's only two answers: priceless or millions. That's what everybody always writes: priceless or millions. Here's what I want you to start thinking about before you show up. You have something inside of you, a life experience that is worth that much to someone else who's starting off on day one. Maybe you got through the divorce and now you're thriving on the other side. There's somebody going into day one of the divorce scared to death. There's another woman who's lost her self-alignment, lost her connection with God. You found it. She's starting off on day one, and your information will be priceless to her. Or maybe you know how to cut hair, do accounting, yoga, a million other things that someone's starting off on day one, and your experience is priceless to them. So what I'd start thinking is this: what is that one thing? But you don't have to figure it out totally. Just start down that process, because here's what you do. You go to thrive800.com, you register. As soon as you register, watch the second video, watch the third video that tells you all the details, and then immediately go into the Facebook group. We create a Facebook group. There'll be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people in there lighting it up. And I'll do some pre-event trainings in there. You'll get connected to other people. You'll get pre-event trainings. Put it in your calendar, August 2nd. And when you show up, you'll be amongst, I think, 1 million people around the world supporting each other, gaining new capabilities to thrive in this shifting world.
That is so huge, you guys. That is so huge. You guys, we're so excited that you joined us today, because I think that when you take the time to join us, you said very loudly that I don't want to be frozen, very loudly that I do want to have a different place, very loudly that you understand that there's a gift waiting for you. So this is going to be big. Thrive800.com, thrive800.com. Dean, we really appreciate your time. We really appreciate this information. We really appreciate the nuggets, and I really appreciate the truth. You guys, he said something that was really powerful. We all have a story. We all have a story. It's impossible to get to 18 and not have gone through something. So you can imagine that if you're older than 18, then you definitely had something that someone else can learn from. What if your impact was something so big because you did it and you survived that, and then you go back and help someone so they don't? You know what I always say to you is, it's not that you get to the table, it's that you get to the table so that you can turn around and grab someone else's hand to get to the table with you as well. That's what changes the world, period, in the conversation. And so you can see that Dean and I are on the same path of understanding that it means what happens in your home is what's going to change the world. And this is big. So I'm very, very excited. So listen, let me say it one more time. Thrive800.com. Then make something big in your house so that you don't miss it. Make sure that you don't think small, and invite at least 5 other people and tell them to invite 500 people. You guys know, we know how to get to 1 million. We know how to get to 1 million. That's our wheelhouse. We know how to get to 1 million, and it's pretty on top, you guys. It's very pretty on top, but the climb may not be pretty. But when someone is willing for free to give you the information on how to think at a different place so that you can end up in a different place, particularly like you said, Dean, in this time of insecurity, in this time when our world is shifting, in this time when someone is willing to reach down and pull you up so that you can reach down and pull 5 others up, and then they can reach down and pull 10 others up. It happens over and over again. Thrive800.com. Write Thrive in the comment, and I will be on top of you to make sure that you don't miss a thing. This will be 1 million, and we will be a big contributor. You know, I always often say this to you. When you hear it in different people's voices, it sort of resides. So you go to thrive800.com, then you watch the video, then you join the Facebook group. Be included. Remember what I said, when you put your body in the space where it can be shifted, it will be shifted. But if you stand back and watch, you will always be watching. So Dean, thank you so very much for your time, your education, your energy, this gift. I told you guys, this is going to be a gift, and this is a gift that could change your life. You never know. I appreciate it, Dean. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gloria. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on August 2nd.
Absolutely. August 2nd, you guys. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Dean.